Hey guys, what's up? This is your favorite security guard from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. I actually stole that tagline from another YouTuber that I watch all the time. Pretty awesome guy. Okay, so, man, yesterday, or actually the day before yesterday, closest I've ever come to using my weapon. Absolutely insane. Not something I want to brag about, but just kind of telling you guys how real it can get out there. So I was working at a location, and I really wish I had video footage, but in the story you'll see why I didn't. So let's start in the morning time. Okay, so wake up in the morning, and I guess I left my my body cam charging all night. But not only was it charging all night, it was actually recording. So I guess when I plugged it in, it started the record button since it got power, and it was recording at the same time as it was charging. So in the morning, I see the green light was on. I unplugged it, but what I didn't know that is when I unplugged it, since it was recording, I guess it corrupted a file because I killed the power to it without properly shutting it down. So I get to my work location, and I turn on my cam, and I notice it starts to flash corrupt file, not able to record. I hit the reset button, I powered it down, I even went online to try to find a solution. Pretty much it was messed up, so it couldn't record. And I knew that day, I'm just like, it was a bad sign. I said, something's gonna go down because my darn camera is not working. It was about 3 hours into my shift. I was just kind of standing, had my hands inside of my vest like this, pretty much just standing around and a little bit zoned out because nothing was happening, but at the same time always attentive. And I caught in a corner of my eye, two guys walked into this place, and they were walking pretty fast, so I kind of got myself into a little bit of a ready stance, and one of the guys just went, "Give me your gun," and put his hand down and tried to grab my gun. Now, I don't know if he was joking around or trying to troll me or just who knows what, but he literally got like a half an inch away from my gun, and my reflexes were just so fast that even I was shocked. Like, I just put my hand down and punched and hit his hand out of the way. I mean, it just all happened so quick. It's like when something drops from a shelf and then you grab it, and then a moment later, like, whoa, that was cool, man. I can't believe I just grabbed that before it hit the ground. You know, I could never do that on purpose, but, you know, when your reflexes, you kind of move before your brain thinks. Anyway, so this guy tried to grab my gun, and I just knocked his hand out of the way. And then he just started walking up one of the aisles like nothing just happened. It took me about a second to realize, whoa, this guy tried to grab my gun. So after I knocked his hand out of the way, I was just kind of in shock for a second. And then I looked at him like, do I know him? Is he a friend? Is he somebody messing around? All that went through my mind. And then all of a sudden I realized, dude, this guy tried to grab my gun. So then I pull out my taser, and I told him, you need to get the F out of here. And then he started kind of mouthing off like, what, you're going to tase me? Now, just so you know, a friend of his was also with him. So it was some dude and then some other guy as well. And then his friend was like, bro, stop, let's go. And then this guy that tried to grab my gun started getting really mouthy. And he was like, what, are you going to tase me? Go for it. Tase me, man. Go ahead. See what happens. Tase me. And all the while, I'm thinking, damn, my camera's not working. And the cameras that are up above, I don't know if they're dummy cameras or if they're legit cameras. So I've always wondered if at this place I'm working at, if the cameras were real. Turns out they're actually real. Because later on we tried to find the footage, etc. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm over here thinking, okay, I'm about to tase this guy, and I have absolutely zero evidence. My camera is not working. You know, it's just going to look so convenient. If I tase them, the cops are going to say, well, can we look at the footage on your camera? And I'm going to tell them, oh, sorry, man. Today my camera wasn't working, and they're going to think, wow, how convenient, right? So this guy is kind of escalating everything. He's talking about, go ahead, tase me. And I'm thinking to myself, if I tase this guy, his friend that's standing like 8 feet away from me is going to jump on me. So right after I tase this guy, I'm going to drop the taser, and then I have to pull out my sidearm, and that's it. I mean, after the taser, there's nothing but bullets, right? So I'm thinking, wow, if I tase him, I'm going to have to pull my gun out. And these little thugs are definitely going to push it further. And there's a chance I'm going to have to shoot this guy just because they have way too much pride, way too dumb, that's for sure. And I might find myself actually having to kill a person today. And then at the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, damn, I'm going to shoot somebody and I have no camera footage at all. And it's going to look so bad on me. And again, I don't know if these cameras up ahead are working. So ultimately, when I talk to my boss, or when I'm in front of a jury and they ask me, why did you shoot? It's going to be my word against their dead word, right? So I was really hesitant to tase him, knowing that right after I tase him, I'm going to pull out my firearm. But, you know, at the same time, it's like I heard a saying, somebody said, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And if you don't know the meaning, I'll explain it. They'd rather be judged by a jury of 12 people if they shoot their gun to save their life than to be carried by 6 people in the casket. So I'm over here thinking, damn, I'm going to actually have to shoot another human being. This is horrible. You know, whether he's a bad guy or not, just taking somebody's life would have a huge psychological bearing on you. That's for sure. Like, I would definitely be thinking about it for the rest of my life, whether this person deserved it or not. It would impact me so greatly, and I would hope that I never have to shoot somebody. So anyways, I'm holding the taser on this guy. I turned on the light. You've got this laser beam pointed at him. My taser's ready to go. He keeps like advancing on me. I get louder and I'm telling him, step the F back, you know, and just yelling with the most authoritative voice that I possibly can. Then I notice his friend coming up slowly on the side of me, and he has what it seems like his hand in his waistband. So I'm thinking, crap, his friend's carrying a gun, and he's going to pull it out at any second. You know, sorry, man, it's just insane. Then behind the guy was a line of people, and I'm thinking, wow, if I do have to shoot, there's a chance this bullet's going to go right through this guy and hit somebody behind him. So I was trying to like get him to stand away from people by like walking to the side of him. And ultimately, he did sort of back down, and he's like, okay, I'm going to leave. Well, he didn't say that, but in his mind, he's like, okay, I'm going to leave. So he started walking toward the door. Of course, he's talking all kind of crap about, go ahead, man, tase me. Who are you? What do you think you are? You're a rent-a-cop, this and that. And I told him, leave the property, leave the property. Then his buddy started walking up, and I backed up maybe 5 feet so that I can have him and his buddy in my sights. Mind you, the firearm was never pulled out, just the taser. So then his friend grabbed a bunch of stuff and just walked out. And, you know, he yelled a few other things, and that was it. And they left, and they started laughing at me and whatnot. But what they don't realize is they were so close to being shot. Because I know I would have tased that guy, and his buddy would have jumped on me, no doubt. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, I have a taser. That's my, you know, non-lethal weapon. And once I use that, I'm going to have to pull out my firearm to secure the scene. And I know you can just see in their attitude that dude would have jumped on me, his friend, right after I tased him, because, you know, they're keeping it real. So, man, I was just that close to shooting somebody that day. And, you know, the drive home was kind of like crazy. I kept thinking about how close I was to doing that, how real this job can be, how little we are paid as guards, you know, how much we put our life at risk every day. I mean, I really did not expect anything to happen in that 1 hour span. I mean, it was quiet, not a lot of people, things were calm. I was so calm that I just had my hands in my vest like this, would just stand there, and it went from being calm and quiet to just absolute insanity. So, you know, guys, just you got to always keep your guards up. Realize that this job, as minuscule as some people might make it seem, we do have a cop life. Our lives do parallel what police officers deal with every day. Maybe not on the scale that they do, but certainly that possibility is there, that you're going to run across somebody that's going to try to grab your gun or rob a store, or just want to mess with you, or mistake you for an officer and just want to shoot you because they don't like officers. So, you know, you just take it a day at a time, and some people might realize the reality of this and at some point and say, you know what, this is way too much for me to invest myself in for so little money. Like I said, I'm only doing this for an X amount of time. Once I get my 2,000 hours, I'm going to go out there and try to get my PPO license and start my own business. So anyways, that's a short story. Maybe Tuesday, I'm going to start uploading webcam footage or body cam footage so you guys can see some of the incidences I have dealt with. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I was really short on time. So within the next week, I'm going to start uploading some footage. Tell me what you think about that. If it's not a good idea, let me know. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Keep that social distancing going. And that's it. Take care, guys.